Hello and welcome. Jumpy coming at you once again with some more Myst. In this video we're going to listen to what Sirius and Achenar have to say from the pages that we found in the Stone Ship age, and then we're going to find our way to the next age, which I believe is going to be the... what's it called? The Channelwood age. So first of all we have the blue page, that's Achenar's page. Let's see what he has to say to us.
Good. Still more blue pages, you bastard. Bring more. I must have some more.
So he just still wants us to bring more blue pages for him?
Long. It's so long since my brother Sirius wrongfully imprisoned me within his book. Stupid schemes. Pretty speech. Read, which is endless. It should be perfectly obvious to you. He's done evil and he has destroyed all before. Do not bring the red pages to him. Not let him trick you. He tricked our father.
He tricked our father? Okay.
Hideously murdered our father. He'll trick you. He'll murder you. Don't touch the red pages.
So it sounds like...
Beg you. Bring the blue pages. To me. Listen, you must obey me.
You must obey me. Sirius said something like that too.
Pages are my only hope. You must help me. You must help me.
You must, he says. So it sounds like Sirius murdered their father. At least that's what Achenar says. So like before, I'm going to fast forward through getting the red page, so I'll see you in a minute. And we're back. So let's see if Sirius has the same things to say about his brother that Achenar did.
Have returned. Additional page. Free from my prison on this forgotten island of Myst.
The Island of Myst. You dropped the title.
I see that you are.
Yeah, what?
I am called Sirius. I need all the red pages. I know. You must search and bring
Man, these two brothers are very demanding for being trapped in books. Two more.
I am released. I promise. Don't touch the blue pages.
wicked brother, Achenar. He is a man of distorted mind and senses. He disgusts me.
He disgusts me. What a stellar acting performance.
Do not release Achenar. Thirst for destruction is not never ending. Bring the red paper. Beg you, please release me from this prison. Promise you will be greatly rewarded.
Oh, he's all about the riches and rewards.
Must help me. Help me.
And again, you must help me. That's exactly what Achenar said as well. But by this point, I think you're getting the idea that we probably shouldn't help either of them. And we'll soon find out why. So, we've only got 2 more locations to go. We have the tall tree and the spaceship. Let's turn the tower towards the tree. And then let's read a book about it, shall we? The Channelwood Age. I have called this age Channelwood, and it is a very different world. Though it is exactly how I imagined it, it is still amazing to see it with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see, except for a small rocky island. Elsewhere there are only trees, which grow directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden passageways are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appear aged. I am eager to discover more about this land and its people, but I have arrived here late and I must rest. I was awakened this morning by strange noises coming from a pathway adjacent to the one on which I had slept. I saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my direction. They had not seen me yet. I did not feel threatened by their presence. Their response to me was one that I would never have expected. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began what appeared to be some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated through enthusiastic hand motions that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below us were changing colours. Slowly, subtly, they would change from deep blue to muddy orange, then from muddy orange to beautifully clear. I was so intrigued by the water, I hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Climbing the ladder led us to their village, which is about 10 meters above the water and can only be reached by rope ladders that stretch from the lower paths to the village level, approximately halfway up the grand trees. It is very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what they were doing. At sunset, they motioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of an enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found that the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. Is it a TARDIS? The walls were garnished with bright metals, and in the centre of the hut sat the leader of these people. At least he appeared to be their leader, for he sat a metre off the floor in a thick throne. I've never seen a thick throne before. Guards surrounded the strong creature, who was dressed in many exotic, colourful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human, at least to some extent he appears human. His hair, which was only on his face and head, which was completely grey, almost white, and hung very long around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me. But what a surprise! This creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some hand motions that looked to be telling me to go to sleep. I look forward to learning more. As I suspected, the ancient creature is a human, but he is old beyond his own reckoning and seems almost insane. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They are treating me now in the same fashion, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It is almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me he had not spoken our own tongue in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. The following is my best translation of what he has told me. Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was then a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground, and the tree dwellers dwelt high above the humans. Okay. Occasionally the island was disturbed by mysterious rumblings which happened randomly, some sort of tectonic or volcanic action, I suspect. The sometimes slight, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time. Then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. One day things changed. The rumbling began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. What? How? How do... what? Do they throw themselves into the... what? I don't know. The humans who lived through this catastrophe moved into the tree. How can humans sacrifice themselves to stop an island from sinking? Was there like a fissure that opened and they jammed themselves into the fissure and stop? I don't get it. Well, they gradually died out, maybe because they were unequipped for such an environment, but I am not sure. This is the story the old man communicated to me, although many details are very unclear in my mind. I am especially confused as to how the humans saved... there we go! How the humans saved the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own. Yet, the old man believes in the truth of the story as if he had been there. And the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans, as if they were humans or gods. The old man ended our conversation today with an event which I will never forget. He began gripping my hands tightly, murmuring something about rest and to sleep. He then said, "We had expected you to come sooner." These actions filled me with a sort of immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. The tree dwellers quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. They then kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand on their heads. All the while he murmured words which I did not understand. Finally he turned to me and smiled. Then he closed his eyes and walked out the door and off of the narrow path high in the trees. The tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down the nearest rope ladder. As I was descending, I saw several of them pick up the body. He had fallen onto a lower level of walkway, and carry it away. He was laying down at the dead end of the short pier-like structure. With the use of some potion, one of the tree creatures lit the pier on fire, and I watched as the flames engulfed him. As this strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed to dull green. This morning I awoke, finding it hard to even believe the previous evening's events. The water is a dull green for as far as I can see now. For some reason, the water no longer shifts colour. As I wander through the pathways, the creatures watch me, curious to see what I will do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn their language soon, so that I may learn more from them. I have lived on this world for 3 months off and on, and the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I am even beginning to learn bits of their language. I have decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I am sure Catherine will once again refuse. I think this age will be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to how Sirius and Akina will react to its curious inhabitants and being treated as gods. Catherine is staying behind, as expected. My sons have returned with me, and they enjoy this age very much. They get along very well with the tree dwellers and are picking up their language surprisingly fast. I have no doubt that it will not be too long until they can speak with the tree dwellers much better than myself. I am leaving tomorrow to check on Osmoian age. Sirius has suggested that I allow him and his brother to stay. Though the idea unsettles me, I know the boys are growing up rapidly. The hospitality of these creatures is such that I can think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while, so I will consent to their request. I warn the boys not to take advantage of the respect the tree dwellers have for their ideas. They seem to understand my warning, and I have faith they will follow it. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in Everdunes, I learned that Pran and her people are continuing to be menaced by the cocktick. I fear for their survival and plan on returning to her shortly after checking on Sirius and Akinar here. See Everdunes journal for more information. There actually isn't an Everdunes journal, so it's hinting at the fact that he has... all of these books were once journals on all different ages, but they're all burned now. After watching Sirius and Akina, I see they are handling things very well, and I think I can put to rest any fears about leaving them in Channelwood again, and for a little longer time. The tree dwellers seem slightly distressed that I am leaving, but are happy that Sirius and Akina are staying behind again. I have been gone for over 3 days and have been to many different places. I had to tell Sirius and Akina about Pran's death today, and they were visibly shaken, although they only remembered her from their childhood. Catherine has suggested that it would be wise for Sirius and Akina to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They will be returning with me when I leave again. I have told my sons that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of an adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable, but apparently it seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and travelled some ways out into the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talk excitedly of their adventures and am reminded of my own adventures as a child. I finally understand why the tree dwellers have been giving me their many inks and insisting I write with them, so that explains all the different coloured ink. Looking through some of my past entries, I see now that the inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colours. I have shown some of the creatures my journal and they laughed and howled. I did not know they had such a sense of humour. Even now, as I look through this very colourful journal, I cannot help but laugh myself. So this ink, it seems to have colour changeable properties like the water, but the water hasn't changed in a while. We will be returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creatures for the last night here. They have told me they would love to come to Channelwood again, and also asked if they can visit some other ages alone. Though I will have to think over their request, I believe they have proven to me that they are trustworthy and responsible. Catherine will also have to help me decide whether they are ready for travel alone. For now, I must give my farewells to the creatures, for I do not know how long it will be until I visit this age again. And then we have some diagrams of what looks like one of the huts in the trees. Some sort of windmill looking contraption. Here's obviously a floor plan with plans for a future bridge. And there's some sort of connection between these two. And then that's it for the book. So let's see if we can find some hints to get into this Channelwood age. And then head on in. Start by heading back up into the tower. I've already rotated the tower the right direction. But we'll double check just in case, unless it's night time. In which case, we probably won't be able to see anything. Oh, looking out, we can see the huge tree. Climb down this ladder. Let's see what the key is. 724. Now, where have we heard those numbers before? Or something that needed 3 numbers? If you remember from the first video, in that little hut next to the giant tree, there was a safe with a combination lock. 3 numbers in that. So it might be a safe guess that these 3 numbers correspond to the combination lock. Let's head over there and find out. 724 it was. In here, we have to. There's a picture of the tree there. We have to turn around. 724 and try the handle. A box of matches. Let's get a match. Let's strike it. And let's light the pilot. Now we've got this valve which we can turn, which will increase the fire. And this is the PSI. You hear something moving, and if we come out we can see that this tree is actually raising and it looks like there is a lift in there. But it doesn't look like it is. Looks like the lift gets too high up, so this puzzle we need to lower the temperature again and then get out here quickly. This was one of the only timed puzzles in the original Myst. You need to get out here fast enough to be able to catch the doorway on its way back down. Hop in. There's a button here in case you got stuck up too high. It would reset you back down to ground level. And this takes us down underground in the roots of the tree. So that valve will let us get back up if we need to. But here we find a book. And with that, I will leave you. Thanks for watching. Check in the description for links to my Twitch and my Twitter. I stream every weeknight and most weekends as well. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.